Hello. Batman, Accelerator. Hello, what's the crack? How are you doing? What question go for me? Hit me. What's up? What are you thinking? Hi, Fame. Hi, Umanish. Hello. Umanish, is that how you say it? Did I say that right? Hope I did. Tell me yes. What are y'all thinking? So tell me where you're at right now. Are you in... Hey, James. James, I know you're in GCSE. Batman, I'm pretty sure... Actually, I can't mind where... Batman, you're either GCSE or year 12. I don't actually mind Batman. And Fahim, year 12, right? Or not year 12, Fahim, sorry, GCSE. Bit of waves. What are you all doing though for, we can do some waves. What are you all doing though for A levels or for uni? Fahim, GCSE. What are you all thinking for your A levels or your uni? Hopefully you're thinking physics. Umar. I love that. I have no clue where that is. My geography is shocking. Where is that? How do you even say that? Svalbard. 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 How do you say it? My hair's a bit fuzzy. Maths, chemistry, and biology. Fahim, what are you talking about? What are you at? Why are you here though? What are you here doing maths, chemistry, and biology? What happened to physics? Is an island in the polar region. Like what part? What is that? It's not a country, right? So what country is it part of? I actually don't know. That's shocking. My geography is actually shocking. Really need to Google it. What do you mean maths, chemistry, biology, Fahim? Where, James? What are you doing for A level? Norway. Cool. James, what are you doing for A level? Manish, what about you? What are you at? Are you at GCSE? You're year 12, you're 13. Got any questions for us as well? So waves. What do you want about waves? Accelerator. I know physics 2 is too hard. What do you mean, Fahim? Have you seen the GCSE one? How are you doing GCSE physics compared to biology and chemistry? Here to know what you don't know. Omnish. You don't know what you don't know though, eh? Radioactivity topic, right? Umar Hime. What do I do for radioactivity? Paper 1, GCSE physics is easy. Yeah, so it's easy. What's the crack? What are you struggling with then? Are you doing better in physics, chemistry, or biology right now? Like what grades are you getting in them? Right, I'm seeing waves and I'm seeing radioactivity. Tell me something particularly what I do. I mean, she said you're 17. Umar, you said you want to do radioactivity. Umar, did you say you're A level? Yeah, Umar, is it A level or GCSE? Sorry, didn't know if you said earlier. And who asked me for waves? Accelerator. I think you're, yeah, AS. Waves, yeah, grand. What about waves, accelerator? What do you want to do? And radioactivity. So waves we're doing A level. What about radioactivity? Are we A level or are we GCSEs? A level. Accelerated diffraction, yeah, grand. And radioactivity, want to do A level. Okay, let me think. Let's say I told you that the decay constant was 1.6 times 10 to the power of 8 in a year. What is the half-life? How would you calculate that? What is the half-life? Let's say -8 actually. What's that half-life? And diffraction, like all of diffraction. So we'll do radioactivity first, and then we'll go immer. Yeah, fab. So what we're doing, hoping t to the power half is equal to the natural log of 2 divided by the activity. So all I got to do in your calculator is the natural log of 2, so ln2, and then you're just dividing by 1.6 times 10 to the -8 to figure out, oh, I got a different number than you, Omer. So the half-life, what it is in radioactivity, is the natural log of 2 divided by the wavelength. See if I can get my calculator up so you guys can see it. Oh no, there is no calculator in this computer. Sorry. Natural log 2 divided by the wavelength. See, divided by the wavelength, divided by the decay constant. So that's what the decay constant is there. See what the half-life is and what the units are. Okay, so hopefully you're thinking, normally we want this to have this in seconds. So you need to convert it into seconds here. So that's how many decays happens in a year. Let's see how many decays happen in a second. It's going to be less. So divide by 365 to get it into days. I'm going to divide by 24 to get it into hours. Divide by 60 to get it into minutes. And then divide by 60 to get it into seconds. So that your half-life can be in seconds also. Danula, is A-level physics going to be hard? I'm thinking about picking it, and I got a 9 in both mocks for physics. Danula, so I think that's like, everyone always says like, oh, physics is one of the hardest subjects. Oh, physics is really difficult. However, if you're someone sitting grade 9s at GCSE, you're someone who finds physics easy, right? So it's like, no, there's like two types of people, right? There's people who are really good at English, there's people who are really good at math. For me, I find English really difficult, right? Like I actually find it so difficult when I'm writing an email or doing any type of writing activity where my spelling is involved, right? And if you're ever in my online lessons, my spelling is shocking, right? Absolutely shocking. Because in physics, right, we just write letters all the time. We don't bother spelling. So for someone like me, I actually find English really difficult, but I really enjoy physics because I really love the problem solving of it. So I think people who enjoy physics are the people that are okay with, you have to be okay basically with not knowing stuff. And that's why physics is enjoyable, right? So you know how in English there's clearly you spell words the same way all the time, right? There's a right answer. Same with mathematics, right? There is a right answer. In physics, you have to realize that you're learning stuff like diffraction, wave-particle duality. You're learning about how light rays can be both particles and waves, right? You're learning about how that we know that electrons, they're not in shells anymore. They're basically in these like probability of areas they'll be. So all the stuff you're learning in physics, you're learning the top of our knowledge right now. And I think you have to be very okay with being like, whoa, that's mind-blowing. It's amazing that a particle, like an electron, can also be a wave, because we can't really explain it properly yet. So yeah, I think if you enjoy physics right now, you will love it. So when I was your age, I was really good at all subjects, right? I'm not trying to be like toot my horn, but normally if you're good at revising, you're good at revising. So I was really good at all of my biology, chemistry, physics, math, geography, history. I loved all of them. I got like loads of A stars and A's, but I just really enjoyed science. So for me, I picked biology, chemistry, and physics to do for my A levels. And I honestly didn't know which one I liked better. I couldn't decide between biology and physics. Chemistry, I don't think is interesting because you don't really learn anything about what's going on in the world around you. You kind of just pop numbers in about electrons all the time, or about what atoms look like. Whereas physics, you're trying to explain like how the universe works. You're trying to explain how electrons behave. You're trying to explain why we see things the way we do. And then biology, you're explaining how the human body works. So for me, I couldn't pick between the two that I liked. But again, there's lots of positives studying physics, right? Everybody, hears you study physics, they're like, whoa, you must be so smart, or whoa, you must be so intelligent. And you kind of get like a little buzz off it, so you do. So I think I'm pro it. Yeah, Umar, do you do physics? You do chemistry? Sorry. Yeah, organic chemistry is probably the most interesting because, yeah, it's like talking about the body, right? And you apply it to the body. But most of chemistry is really abstract. Like it's actually one of the ones, I think it's one of the ones that's very hard to become passionate about. But again, that's just coming from a physicist, right? Yes, incognito we can. Danula, physics, maths, and further maths. Oh, Danula. Further math. Okay, all teachers have different opinions about this, right? I don't think further math is a good choice for A level based on everybody who I know who I've taught it to, oh, well, sorry, not I taught it. I taught physics, obviously, right? Physics and maths, you have to do together, right? Maths helps physics so much. Further maths, however, doesn't really help out with either of them, and it doesn't help out at university. And further math ends up being one of the ones that people find the most difficult at A level. So rather than you spending a lot of time revising physics and a lot of time revising maths, you're actually spending so much of your time revising further maths, and then your other subjects get held back because of it. So physics, yeah, everyone says is really hard, but if you have a good teacher, I think physics is actually really enjoyable. Further maths, however, maybe it's a question to ask your teachers as well, but I don't see any advantage of taking further maths at A level if you want to go to university. I would say pick a subject you enjoy that's quite different. So for last year, my last year teaching anyway, I know a lot of people did further maths right into the last 4 months, and then they all dropped it because they all realized they're going to get D's, but they're getting A's in physics, right? It's quite a different A level. But again, if you love maths, it's different, right? Hi, Nathan. If a student has a master's degree, can he or she apply for teaching posts in university like Cambridge or Oxford? Okay. Umar, you want to get a master's and you want to be a lecturer at University of Oxford. To be a lecturer, you have to have a PhD at all the good universities anyway. Yeah, so I have a master's degree. I was not able to be a lecturer at Oxford and Cambridge. How it works is you apply for a PhD at Oxford or Cambridge. You do your PhD at Oxford or Cambridge, and while you're doing your PhD, you help out teaching some undergrad courses. And then that's kind of like your way into being a lecturer. So it's not really like, you know how like a teacher in high school, you're just a teacher, you're not doing anything else. And a lecturer in university, you're never just a lecturer, right? It's not your job. Your job is research. So you're at the university doing research, and then the university is paying you to do the research. So to like give back to the university, you give lectures on certain courses, right? So it's not like a Oxford lecturer, that's their only job. It's not their job. It's like a part of their job for doing research, right? So yeah, so if you want to do a lecturer especially in science anyway, you have to do research, and then while you're doing your research, you lecture on certain courses for undergrad. Does that make sense? In Canada, how many masters you have? You can have as many masters as you want, but they cost money, right? So when I did my master's, which is like what, God, like 7 years ago, my master's degree was 9K a year. So 9K a year, the same as undergrad. So I got student finance for it. But that's changed now. So if I went back, I did my master's at UCL, University College London. If I went back and did the same master's today, it would cost me 27K, right? That's like triple the price. So just for a 1 year course to get my master's degree, I paid 9K, but I got it on student finance, so I didn't really have to worry about it. But now if I went back, I would need 27K to do that one master. So if I want to do another master's, you'd have to pay another 27K on top of that. So it's more of a money thing now, to be honest, but it is good to have a master's. Umar, Irish University, you want to go to Ireland? Okay, when I was your guys' age, my top choices for university was I wanted to go to Bath University to study natural science because, like I said earlier, I loved physics and I love biology. And I wanted to go to Galway. So Galway has got a really good university for natural sciences as well. Okay, there's also UCD, University College Dublin. It's got a really good university. And for physics, Queen's University in Belfast is actually very good as well. Can't spell Queen. Queen's University in Belfast actually good as well. But if you're looking for like Southern Ireland, Galway and UCD are really good universities. University College Dublin and Trinity. Trinity as well is like very good. So that was universities that I really liked when I was looking for universities. But then I ended up going to Michigan State in America. So a bit different. Your brother goes to Bath, does he, James? Bath is a really good university, especially for natural science. Obviously, universities are different for different things, but Bath's got a very good natural science department. Nathan, you want to go to Warwick? Yeah, again, I didn't apply. I wasn't looking for straight physics degrees. I was looking for natural science or astrophysics. So yeah, every university has different subjects that they're specialized in, right? Because, for example, if they're doing top research in physics, they're going to have a really good lecturer there teaching physics. If they're doing top research in astrophysics, they'll have a really good research. So, for example, I think it's Manchester Uni. Has your man, what's your physics man at Manchester? He's a lecturer and he's on the TV. Oh, what's he called? White lad, brown hair. God, how did I forget his name? He's a lecturer. I know. Anyway, I know they do a really good astrophysics program in Manchester because he is a lecturer there because he does really good research. Turning points in physics is kind of looking at like time dilation and things like that. I teach astrophysics. I like astrophysics. If you want to be a scientist, you need A-level maths. It depends just what type of scientist you're looking for. So for example, if you want to be a biologist and you want to study the human, actually, if I'm being honest with you, yes, you probably do. Because all science is maths in it, right? Like physics is all maths. If you do biology, at some point you do have to do some maths, right? Especially when you go do A-level biology, it's a lot more maths in it. You don't have to be great at maths, but it is useful to have. Yeah, it is useful to have. Depends what scientist you're talking about though, Jess. Okay, so for this one, what you would do is 1.6 times 10 negative 8, divided by 365 to get in days, divided by 24 to get in hours, divided by 60 to get in minutes, divided by 60 to get in seconds, and then all you do is natural log of 2 divided by the number to get what your half-life is. Okay, so radioactivity, that's one of the big equations. One of the other big equations is A equals A naught e to the minus lambda t. Okay, so what this equation means is what is the activity right now, looks at what the activity was in the past, at the beginning, E exponential decay, that's your decay constant times the time. So radioactivity is actually quite a nice wee topic. But I do want to talk about diffraction that someone asked me about there because diffraction is a really interesting one. A natural log incognito. So do you know how you probably see incognito, I think you're A-level, right? Log to the base 10 in your calculator. So if you're looking at your calculator, you've got a button that says LOG, and if you hit the button LOG, it's got the base 10 on it. So it just means log to the base 10. And natural log is log to the base e, so natural log. So natural logs is what we use in physics. You use log to the base 10 in math classes quite a lot in your math classes, but natural logs is what you use in physics. Okay, it's just because sometimes the scales are so big. So rather than going up in normal numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because the scales that we're trying to get to are so big, like maybe you're trying to get to 10 million or a million, natural log, it allows us to like compress the scale down smaller, basically. Yeah. What is the best way to get top marks? I didn't do my best in my last test. Mario, are you in GCSEs or are you in A-level? There's kind of different answers for both for what one you're doing. James, you want to be a forensic scientist? Okay, I'm not trying to pick you off the degree, but I actually really wanted to be that when I was like 13. I went through so many different job options. I really wanted to be it because you know the TV shows where you see them and they go to the crime scenes and I don't know if you've seen this, but they go to the crime scenes and they pick up the evidence and then they take it back to the lab and they analyze it. That's what I thought forensic science was, but it's not. Forensic scientists, you stay in a lab and it's a different people. It's kind of like part of the police department. They're the people that pick up the evidence and they bring it to you in the lab. You stay in the lab all day. So just to make sure you're aware of that. But forensic science is great. You're mainly doing chemistry. But there is a degree just called forensic scientist. Like it is a degree. Just study. It is a degree called forensic scientist. So like kind of a physics degree or a math degree or an astrophysics degree, you would have a degree in forensic science. Mario, GCSE, Mario, they repeat the same questions all the time. I would highly recommend, do not bother writing out notes. I would highly recommend that you do a paper, right? So like say pick the 2023 paper or pick the 2022 paper because those are the ones that are more going to be very like yours. Do the paper. Don't ask a teacher to mark it, right? Because that's actually lazy and it's not going to help you. Download the mark scheme yourself, right? And then spend more time marking it than you did answering it, okay? Because the mark scheme, you'll see that sometimes they've got certain words in bold and sometimes they've got certain words underlined. And what that means is if those things aren't in your answer, you're not going to get the marks. So that's the most useful thing to do for your GCSEs is to see what does the mark scheme, what are the examiners actually looking for in your exam? And then what you do is add over the top of the work you did, add in red the words you missed, and then read over that a lot of times before you do the next paper. Then do the next paper and read the mark scheme again to see what you've missed. So I think mark schemes are really helpful at your GCSEs? Oh, you love to stay in the lab, Jibs. Well, yeah, then it's a perfect job. Yeah, don't worry, but don't make notes. You just need to do a past paper and then really, really try to read a mark scheme. So don't rush through the mark scheme. Just go in. The purpose of mark scheme isn't going tick X, and then being like, oh, I got 70%. That means I got a grade. I don't know, a grade 9. That's useless. Okay, it's just not about ticking or Xing it. It's about really looking at the things you got wrong and think, what was in the mark scheme that I missed, and then make sure you write those words down on your test, and then really learn those words so you can figure out what is the mark scheme, what's the examiner actually looking for. Yeah. Careers that I would recommend. I don't really think anyone can really recommend a career to you because I do think it depends what you love. However, I do think there's a lot of careers out there that people don't know about. So, for example, one I didn't know about was a Formula One engineer. So, I didn't know about this until I went to university. So, a Formula One engineer is, I've got a friend, and what he does is that he travels the world. He gets flown around first class. And what he does is that he goes to the different different courses. And what he does is he looks at the wind conditions that day, looks at the rain, the moisture in the air, humidity in the air. He looks at the tires then, and he tells the engineers the physics of which tires are best, how low, how high the car should be raised, how fast they can take the turns. He does the coding on the computer to do all those calculations for him. So I think that's a really cool job. I didn't know about it until obviously I was already through. Other cool jobs I didn't know about as well until I got older was, if you're really into football, that so you know how you see on TV all the time that football managers they pick I don't know, like Ronaldo or whatever, right? They like buy Ronaldo or they sell Ronaldo, or they buy Messi or they sell Messi. And I always thought it was literally the manager of the football team that decided, like, oh yes, we want them, or no, we don't. But I know a guy when I first moved to London, and his job is he works behind the managers. So what they do is it's actually a lot of physics and statistics and maths. You download all of the stats from that one player. So like how much force did they kick the football with? How has their force or their number of goals changed as they've aged? And then they do a prediction about basically how long that player could play for. They do predictions to see how has their running speed changed, what's their lung capacity like, how do they get on with the teammates. There's like loads and loads of data behind the players. And what his job was, he studied, I think, maths at university, or I can't remember if it was maths or physics, or engineer maybe. And then what he does is he looks at the data and then he presents it to the managers of the football team about which player is actually worth the money to invest in. So that's like a cool job I didn't know about. What else is quite cool? I do think it's really cool working in engineering if you decide to go for work for ESA or NASA or SpaceX. I do think a lot of money is in engineering. So when I was younger, money was in coding. So if you learned to code, but now AI can code for you, so you don't need to learn to code. So all the money and jobs is going to be in engineering in the future, especially climate change engineering. And that's actually another cool job, actually. I think it's really cool to have a job where what you do is you look at crops. You might think, oh, that's well boring, but it's actually interesting. So you look at like how crops have been affected over the years, and how can we design crops that can withstand different weather conditions to like help end world hunger. I think that'd be like a really rewarding and cool job as well. But there's like so many jobs in science that you don't know about until you've heard someone else do them. Because typically, if you're smart, the only jobs you really hear about is that, oh, you should be a doctor. Oh, you should be, I don't know, what else do you hear about? You should be a doctor, you should be a lecturer, or you should be a lawyer. You don't really hear about all the other options out there for you. A pilot, really cool career. Lots of money as well. James, the Formula One engineering job, he studied engineering at university. So he studied engineering at university, and he joined a club. We're part of his club. So he went to my university, he went to Michigan State University. And at Michigan State University, there was a club where you design race cars and then you race them against other universities. So that was the club he was part of. And then when he went to the races, his car, our university's race car won sometimes. So there's recruiters from different jobs at those events, and then they recruited him from the job. So it's quite a cool job to have. He loves it. Obviously, he gets flown around for world class. I know we're not really like doing physics questions now, but I think it's really good to know, because like when I was your guys' age, none of my family had been to university. My cousins were the first people to go to university, and they study completely different degrees than me. So I didn't know about all the options, right? So it's good to like talk about this so you do know the options. What happens in the Ed Space physics thing, and how much is it? I'm thinking about buying it. Accelerator S, Maya Space. Right, so Maya Space is the company that I work for now. So it's a company where we're trying to give tuition cheaper. So for example, I used to be a tutor for physics, and I used to charge like £60 an hour because I could, right? And because that's what other physics tutors are charging. So why am I going to charge less? And also the families were kind of wealthy. But I didn't grow up in a family like that, so I could never afford that. So Maya Space is kind of like a company where we're trying to give tuition a lot cheaper to more people. So Accelerator S, did you say you're in year 12? So in my year 12 physics classes now, there's about 20 of us. So there's about 20 people in all the lessons. There's kind of more like 60, but there's 20 people in the lessons. And I do a problem, the people talk in the chat, kind of like you are now. They're like, oh, miss, can you do that again? Or oh, Brooke, I didn't get that bit. Can you go again? So it's kind of like more of a chat. But if you're interested, you can just call customer services and then see if you can try a lesson or see if you can try a month. And also, if you look at the description for this right now, there's the Easter revision courses. So the Easter revision course, I think it works out at £20 for the Easter revision course. And we're going to do revision on all of the physics content. But it'll be mostly for year 13 probably. So they'll probably be doing some stuff that you won't need yet because you haven't been taught it yet in year 13. But if you're interested in the Easter revision courses, there's GCSE and A-level. And then they're in the descriptions of the YouTube chat there if you want to have the YouTube page, if you want to have a look at it. Yeah, Emma, right? We don't get time at school to talk about jobs, do you? So that's why it's good to like have things like this where you can hear about the different options. User 1, you keep getting around about 8% on each past paper I've done. I know this is good, it is good, but the past 8 papers over the past few months, I've gotten the score. How can I improve? User 1, I'm guessing if you're getting 80%, you're GCSE, because that's like mad if that's A-level. So are you GCSE? RR, hello. What's the crack, RR? Is it Vape have? Hello. RR, you watch my Space 10 out of 10. Happy days. Wait, RR, what course are you on? Resistivity, yes. Vabhab, do you follow us on TikTok? I do. There's BrookDoesPhysics. I do loads on TikTok. I actually make quite a lot of ones about resistivity. So resistivity is a property of material. So remember, resistance is equal to resistivity times by the length divided by the cross-sectional area. So resistivity is a property of material. So for example, steel all has the same resistivity, copper all has the same resistivity. So if I want to calculate resistivity, you just do resistance times by area divided by the cross-sectional area. And we did quite a lot of that on TikTok. So the TikTok is Brooke Does Physics. And they're also like a YouTube page there as well. Well, there's quite a lot of them on them if you want to have a look at it. User 1, AS and A level. Well, that's mad good then. 80% in AS and A level is very good. The 20% you're missing, I'm guessing, is either definitions or I'm guessing it's all from the worded stuff, not from the math. Is that correct? Or is it from the maths? It depends what it is. Most times the last 20% is your definitions. And those especially for AQA, you just gotta like learn off. You're from India. Hello. Ma'am, what's your Twitter ID and Facebook? Twitter, I don't use yet. I don't have Twitter. And Facebook I do have, but I'm not as much active on it. I'm getting better at Facebook. But I mostly go on to TikTok is the Brooke Does Physics if you're in A level, or it's Brooke Does GCSE Physics if you're in GCSEs. Yeah, user 1, if you're AQA are really specific about definitions. Like really specific. So again, we have our Easter Revision course if you want to check it out, or we have the course that I teach all for a year if you want to check it out. But yeah, it's your definitions, or sign up to our newsletters. So if you email customer services, if you just Google the Maya Space website and go to customer services, there's a newsletter that I send out every week to year 12 students with like flashcards of key definitions. That's free. So if you just ask them about trying to get access to that. Vabhav, what diet? Sorry. Message me on TikTok, whatever your question is. The course fee, Umar, it depends because the course fee at the start of the year is very different from now because we're already like halfway through the year. But yeah, just go to my Space website. The customer service there is awesome. You can ring them or email them or WhatsApp them. Yeah. I don't know if it's. Let me just check. Sign up now, user one. Woo! See you there. Okay, so guys, I really enjoyed talking about careers. So yeah, we'll do this every time at 4:50. If we talk about careers, talk about careers. If we talk about some problems, we didn't really get to the problems today. But we talk about physics problems, we talk about physics problems. But remember, I always do physics problems on BrookDoesPhysics at TikTok. And then just remember, if you're looking interested in our Easter Vision course, especially if you're in GCSE or you're 13, the link there is in the description. Vabhav, slower. Yeah, sorry. It's the sign of a smart brain. My brain goes a million miles per hour. No, Umar, we only do online courses. Right now, anyway. Who knows what the future has? Right, but speaking of, I have a lesson now. So I shall chat you hopefully next week. Lovely to meet you all.